It's that time of year again where we're looking at the top 10 vehicles for the snow in GTA Online. The best handling vehicles, top speed, that you can use in the snow. And this might be the last year that we get snow in GTA Online if GTA 6 stays on track for a fall 2025 release date. We all know that might change, but for now this is the last year we will be able to enjoy the snow in GTA Online. So I got the top 10, all tested by myself, vehicles for driving in the snow. And if you guys got any other cars on this list, let me know. I might make a community top 5 list for the snow. And yeah, just go enjoy the snow, sit back, grab a coffee, and enjoy the video. So let's start off with number 10, the Obey Omnis. This car is a classic coming out in 2015 with the Cunning Stunts DLC. First off, it's a stunty vehicle, but it's also a rally vehicle, the Obey Omnis rally vehicle. They don't make vehicles like this anymore in GTA Online. So this is one of the rare vehicles that has 2 buying options. They're mostly just liveries, that's all the difference it makes. Just liveries, but it's interesting that Rockstar chose to give us 2 different options. They don't do this anymore. They know about this car. Whoever made this car knows the history behind the Audi version of this in real life. Classic rally vehicle. And they definitely brought that into GTA Online with how good it is in off-road and the snow. As a base cost of $700,000, $701,000, and a top speed of 113.25 miles per hour. Now that's kind of slow for the sports car category, yes, but this is a snow tier list. The off-road capabilities of this car beats 99% of all the other vehicles in this whole game. That's how good this car is on off-road and in the snow. Now in GTA, there is this thing called off-road traction loss. That means the lesser value it is, the better the car will be on the snow. And the Omnis GT has a traction loss of 0.4. That is very good. One of the best in the whole game. And this comes from GTAcars.net. Go look at each vehicle I put on this list on this website. It will tell you everything about it. Top speed, lap time tested by Roughly 1322. Everything you need to know, even up to how the car shifts, accelerates, the engine speed, everything about the car is on this website. So that's going to be my base for all my research on these 10 vehicles. Now just driving this car around, you could tell it feels amazing in the snow. On city streets, it's very easy to drive, rarely spin out at all. When you get off-road, that is when the car gets a little more weird. Obviously because it is off-road and the snow adds a whole different level compared to just regular dirt trails in the game. But it still handles amazingly. You do have to be careful about spinning out. This car, you can tell when you drive it how good it is on the snow and ice. Which, yes, is different than dirt and grass in the game. This is a classic off-road vehicle in the game, so 100% deserving to be on the top 10 list for the snow. At number 9, we have the Outlaw. This one looking like an off-road vehicle, looking like a little buggy. This car very good in the snow. Now, the weakest part of this vehicle is the power. It doesn't have that much power. When you turn on city streets, it loses a lot of speed, and it doesn't have that good of a speed. At the beginning, as a top speed of 91 miles per hour, which is 44th out of 52 in the off-road category. This is the first off-road vehicle on this list. And it's near the back of that class, so that just shows how bad the top speed actually is with this. But the biggest strength is the handling in the snow. Very good at handling, very good at the corners. Off-road, it feels like off-road it gets even better in the snow. On the city streets, it likes to spin out a little bit. It likes to carry a lot of drag to it, but when you get off-road in the snow, it feels amazing. It feels like it will stick to the ground. This car looks like an off-roading car. It handles like an off-roading car. The speed, again, probably like an off-roading car. Not the best speed ever, but looking at this car, you wouldn't expect that anyways. It's just a great overall off-roading vehicle for the snow. As a base cost of $1.268 million. Very high and expensive for this vehicle. But just looking at it, it's one of the most unique vehicles in the whole game. So that is why it is on this list at number 9. Now coming in at number 8, and this should really be near the top 5 of this list, to be honest. Except for one reason, and that is it's a real drive car. So it's missing the all-wheel drive factor into this, which is massive when it comes to the snow. But it's the La Corsus HSW upgraded, which is coming to PC soon. Now this is actually near the top of the sports car category. Looking at this, you won't be able to tell it is very underrated car. People will be surprised you beat them in races with this car. It has a top speed of 142.5 miles per hour, which is 7th out of 112 in the sports car category. And the lap time, again tested by Bro1322, 2nd out of 112 in the sports car category. That is amazing for a tiny little vehicle, so you know why it made it on this list. But when it comes to the snow, this is why it's at rank 9, is because it's so fast. The brakes, HSW upgrades does not account for the brakes, so the brakes always stay the same, the handling always stays the same, even with the top speed upgrade HSW brings. And that's why it's at number 9. It doesn't handle as good in the snow. The HSW La Corsa has base cost of $1.9 million to buy the vehicle, and the HSW upgrade is another $818,000, so definitely one of the most expensive on this list. But the speed is 100% there. This car being 2nd in the whole category when it comes to lap time and going around the city streets, this is where this car is at on this list. That's the main pros of this vehicle. Again, when it comes to off-road, going up these hills, it will struggle. Again, it does not have all-wheel drive, so it will struggle a little bit with the grip. That is the main downsides of this car, but other than that, this car is still amazing. All these vehicles on this list, amazing, 100% worth a try at least. So even though this is at number 9, it's still a 100% must try. And again, very much a sleeper vehicle. Many people won't expect this car to be that good. And number 7 is the Dorado. Came out last year on Christmas week. So this car kind of meant to be a Christmas snow vehicle, off-road vehicle, coming in at a base cost of $1.3 million. Has a top speed of 111 miles per hour, 15th out of 51 in the SUV. So not that bad for an SUV. Now the handling and cornering is where this car does slow down a bit. It's a very heavy vehicle, likes to understeer a lot, so a very heavy and slow vehicle to drive. That is obviously the biggest downside of this vehicle. Kind of also like the Kamacho. The Kamacho huge, the Dorado kind of smaller, but feels way boatier. Feels like a boat going around these city streets. It has an off-road traction loss of 0.5, so on the higher end of this list, but it's still very solid around the snow. The top speed, pretty good. The speed is fine, the traction is fine, it's just the cornering that this car is not that good at. But looking at the suspension, it's very bouncy. It's meant to be off-road and going up some hills, going on some rocks. This car is very good at off-road. But I think we could all agree that it does not beat the Kamacho in any way. Which is what we have at number 6, the Kamacho. Okay, one of my favorite cars, the Kamacho. Looking at this car, you can tell it is a car meant for going off-road, meant for the snow, massive vehicle. Can't even go underwater. It has the special snorkel on it that it could go farther underwater. So this car is a beast in every category, including top speed. It has a top speed of 116.5 miles per hour, 7th out of 52 in the off-road class. Base cost of $345,000. And off-road traction loss of 0.15. Now this car's biggest strength is just how massive it is, how grippy it is. It's planted, it's grippy, going off-road, rarely spin out on it. Going up this hill, easy. On the city streets, it is a little bit slippery. Again, it just has so much weight to it. If you're taking a corner, a long corner, you have to kind of get this car under control. It's very heavy, very planted on the ground, so if you're taking a big corner, you will have that chance where you can slip out of the traction and go a little off-roading, but in the not intended way. But this car, other than that, a very planted and solid vehicle in off-road. And the customization on this vehicle is insane. One of the best customization vehicles in the whole game. Just look at the stock picture right here, and now look how I have it right now in the game. It is amazing. You have the light bar on top of it, you have the doors, different doors to change from, different luggage to put in the back. The wheels are massive. You even have the shovel and axe on the front. This car, the customization is insane on this car. So if you're even a fan of customization, this car is a must-have. And the cost is one of the more affordable costs in this whole list too. $345,000. That is very low compared to really any other vehicle on this whole list. So the Kamacho is a 100% must-buy. If again you like off-roading vehicles or just customizable vehicles, this car 100% amazing. Also, just look how the suspension works on this vehicle. The suspension is crazy on this. Stair climate, really anything you want to do with G-Tail line, this car can do it. This car was even released during the Christmas month, so this car was, to me, meant to be driven in the snow and off-road. This next vehicle is one of the first vehicles that I really have nothing bad to say about. Number 5, the Night Shark. This thing is a tank. Off-road capabilities, off-road traction loss of 0, top speed of 105.25, even has a better lap time because of the traction. And again, it's just a whole tank, literally a tank. Run over any other vehicle in this. So first, it's great for free mode. It's armored windows, takes 20 homing missiles, I think 30 homing missiles. So 100% great for free mode and public sessions. But for off-roading, which is what this video is about, as you see in the video here, taking all these corners, off-roading is fine. This vehicle is 100% planted, not going anywhere. Take any bumps, take any corner, even drifting in snow. This car handles everything, and mostly because it's tank. It's 4-wheel drive, so all-wheel drive, all the traction. Braking is insane. Acceleration is great. And for what this car is, it came out in 2017, so you expect it to be at least somewhat expensive, but it's only $1.2 million. That's all it costs for the Night Shark, which is insane. One of the best vehicles in the whole game still for free mode and off-roading. The Night Shark, very affordable for anyone. If you at least play it in public sessions, sometimes this car is a must-have for public sessions. But for Christmas, for New Year's, the snow and the weather, off-roading, this car is also a must-have for that. As he's taking these corner on city streets, works 100% great. Going up the snow hill, the snow hill I just chose randomly, but it's actually great. It tests the cornering on the snow, going uphill, as well as just off-road in general. And going downhill to when I jump off the side of a mountain. But this car, there is nothing wrong with it at all. It does everything you want to, and more in the snow. And I will get this now in case Rockstar ever decides to put some nerfs on it. Use it while it's still good before they raise it in price, put some nerfs on it, everything else they usually do with these vehicles. Going on to number 4, now this is where stuff starts to get crazy, these vehicles start to be insane. Number 4 is the Maxwell Vagrant, off-road vehicle, top speed of 120.75 miles per hour, which is 3rd out of 52 in the off-road category. Base cost $2,214,000, that's insane. Or the trade price of $1.6 million too, that's a little bit better. But this vehicle, you will see why it's this price range when you test it out in the snow. Now this vehicle has an open wheel concept, makes it really agile, and maneuverability is amazing in the snow and off-road. This is a little buggy type vehicle, so you understand why it's great on off-road. And it has 0 off-road traction loss, so you keep all the traction, but as well it keeps all the speed, and it keeps the turning radius, which is already one of the best in the whole game with the Vagrant. It keeps the grip, and it's very small, very small. This vehicle, one of the most smallest vehicles in the whole game, so there's almost nothing like this car right here. Great traction in the snow. That is why this is on the 4th of this list, is because of how small, fast, speedy this little car is. But the grip is also insane for the snow. And the speed is great too. 120 miles per hour, that even beats number 2 on this list. You will see why it's not ahead of them in a few seconds, but this is why this is on this list. The Vagrant, looking at all the other vehicles on this, probably a lot of people forgot about this, but it's still at number 4th for the snow. Now we get into the top 3 vehicles for the snow, and this is where they're really all tied. Number 3 is the BF 400. Now this one was at number 1 on my list last year. I do this list every year. This was at number 1 last year. It's the only bike on this list, and because it's a bike, that means you have the wheelie technique. When you wheelie, you get a huge boost in top speed. So top speed is 135.75 miles per hour, faster than every other vehicle on this list, even the HSW La Courseuse. And it has a base cost of $95,000. And it was released in 2016, so this bike has been around forever, and still one of the best to use on the snow, and in the whole off-roading category. So top speed is the best on this whole list. As well as turning. Turning is very good too. It is a bike. It turns easily. I mean, in the snow it's a little harder to turn this. You do have a lot of understeer in the turning on the snow city streets, but it's still great overall. On the snow, feels like you're still on road. On the snow, it feels like you're still on the main road. That's how good it feels. You can take any corner possible with this on the snow. Going uphill is very easy. Again, you can wheelie for the extra top speed. It's an off-road bike. That's all you need to know why it's at number 2 on this list. And like I said, last year it was at number 1, and it would be at number 1 if I didn't make this one change. Now number 2, the Kuruma, starting price $126,000 or $95,000 if you complete the first ever heist. It has a top speed of 113 miles per hour, which is close to most of the other ones on this list. 98th out of 112 in the sports car category. Off-road traction loss of 0. And it is an all-wheel drive vehicle. Like the Omnis, this is a rally off-roading vehicle. It is in the sports car category, but this vehicle is amazing off-road and in the snow, wet conditions. It can become a little bit slippery, especially on the hills, on city streets. You do notice a bit of slippage, just a tiny bit of oversteer sometimes. So that is the biggest downside of this vehicle, but the upside, everything else, amazing. Most of the time when off-roading, it feels like it's very grippy on the dirt, on the snow. Again, going up hills, that is where you start to slip a little. But if you have a flat off-road surface, this car is amazing at it. One of the best rallying vehicles in the game, and what's mostly used in rallying communities in GTA Online. In racing communities, when you go off-roading, this is one of the most used cars. Also, it's a classic, has to be on this list. At number 1, it is the Classe Drauger. This vehicle, it is a monster truck. It is insane, a beast in the snow. You could take this off-roading in dirt, on the snow, on ice, over rocks, in the water. This vehicle can do it all. And this is why it's at number 1. It has a top speed of 111.75 miles per hour, 10th out of 52 in the off-road category. But lap time, as tested by Broughy1322 GTAcars.net, 2nd out of 52 in the off-road category. That shows you how much traction and grip this vehicle has and adds to the overall performance. You could take corners without really braking at all, even on slippery, snowy roads in GTA Online. It does have an off-road traction loss of 0.15, so not even completely 0, it's 0.15, but still amazing. It is lifted off the ground, and just take a look at these tires. The tires are massive, all-terrain tires, it even says on it. That is how you know this car is meant for off-roading. You have amazing customization options, a lot of rally options, the snorkels on the top. And yes, you can take this in deep water. It will survive deep water. Now, just going up the snow hill here, I mean, you don't even have to try at all. I'm not trying at all right here, live gameplay for you guys. I am not trying at all. Just driving it like I would drive any other car. And it's handling it beautifully. The suspension reacts. You can see the suspension, how the suspension changes as you go over each and every bump. You can feel the power even on the steep parts of this hill. You can feel the power engage. It doesn't even have to try. This car, it just goes. And it keeps the top speed, and it keeps the turning radius, it keeps the grip no matter where you take it. It keeps it wherever you drive. Now, as you see, now we're going into some water, some pretty deep water, over some rocks. It's handling everything. It's going over these rocks without even trying, handling the water perfectly. The suspension is actually real. It's not for show. It actually works. You could climb over these rocks. It actually does something, which you don't see in a lot of cars in GTA Online. Only when Rockstar intends it to be. Only when Rockstar makes it so it's actually good off-road. In this vehicle, it has everything you need. That's why it's at number 1 for the snow. I just showcased these 10 vehicles to you in the snow. The reason why I put these vehicles on the top 10 list. And this might be the last year to enjoy these, where they're meant to be in the snow off-road. Hope you guys enjoyed the Christmas. If you guys got this far into the video, part of me needs to liked it. So leave a like and subscribe to see our video I make next.